I tell people when people come up to me and they say, I hate you. I'm like, okay, cool. That means you're doing it right. You must be like super crazy if you really love me and you're working hard. But most people say, I hate you. And that tells me that they're actually doing what I tell them to do.
This is The Fit Mess with Zach and Jeremy.
Hello and welcome to The Fit Mess. Thanks so much for downloading this episode. It's going to be a great show. We're always very excited and very appreciative of the opportunity to talk with one of our favorite personal trainers, Shaun T. He will join us here in just a few minutes. But for now, I'm Jeremy and that guy's Zach.
What's up, everyone?
And man, what an amazing conversation and opportunity we had to talk with Shaun T this afternoon. I just to put myself in the perfect frame of mind to talk to him. He's got this new challenge going on right now that we'll talk a lot about with him. But just to make sure I was in the right headspace, I did day 2 of the workout just minutes before getting on the phone with the guy. And I think you said something to the effect of how many people get a chance to curse Shaun T for pushing them beyond their limits within minutes of finishing a workout.
It wasn't just any workout. I mean, these workouts are hard to do. They're some of the hardest workouts. And you had a really hard workout and then immediately got to talk to him. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's he has the 60-day program going on right now. It's only available until midnight tonight to join the Facebook group and get all the information and participate in the thing. So make sure that you jump over to their Facebook page. We have a link on our website to get to there and join. But this comes along at a perfect time for me. This quarantine, this COVID quarantine that's gone on for many, many weeks now has been unbelievably challenging for everybody. We've gone over that ad nauseum on this show. And really, Zach and I have been talking sort of behind the scenes for the last few weeks, even months, about how the direction of our conversation on this show has really shifted. And we came out of the gate with this thing trying to be a resource of helpful tools, biohacking, different things that you can do to sort of improve your life physically, mentally, spiritually, if you're into that. And it's really interesting. I think in the last year, I've really struggled to keep up with all of those things. And I think that that's been reflected in a lot of the conversations that we've had here, where more than offering help, I feel like I've come to this show sort of as therapy, as a venting session to complain about how hard it's been to get back on track. And perfect timing. Shaun T comes along as we're all locked in our houses trying to figure out how to get our bodies to move. And he has this incredible 60-day challenge that I'm really looking forward to completing, but also just getting to day 3 tomorrow.
But I am curious, though. I mean, you've done 2 full days, and yeah. I'm suffering a bit of a rib injury right now. So while I did the workouts, I did them in a very slow, modified fashion. Mm-hmm. But I have to imagine that you have trouble walking down the stairs right now.
Oh, God. Yeah. No, my legs have been jello all afternoon. It's it's brutal. Yesterday was a 30-minute, and it's like he even says in the video, it's one of the hardest workouts he's ever put together. And it was brutal. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't have to take breaks and modify a bunch of times. Today it was like twice as long. It was like a 50-minute workout. And it's funny because the first 10 minutes I was like, oh, this is my pace. We're strength training. We're doing some weights. It's really just focused on control and strength. And then I realized it was just the warm up. And I was like, oh shit, what am I in for? And just killed me, just completely wiped me out. So yeah, definitely was feeling it. Still feeling it now. Every time I have to go up the stairs from my little studio down here.
So then
it's a struggle.
But the question is, how do you feel?
I feel great. That's the thing. A year ago, we talked to Shaun T on the show when Transform 20 came out. And I think I'd only done like the sample workout or something when we talked to him. But then over the next 6 weeks, I finished that workout. And it's the first time I've ever completed a home workout start to finish.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks. And but what was so interesting was the minute that I was done with the workout yesterday and knowing that it was one that was particularly hard, that there was weeks and weeks of ramp up to for anyone that was getting into that particular program. There is a sense of pride that you can't help but feel when you accomplish something really difficult like that. And then also just like the endorphins and all the things that physically happen to your body, you just feel good. And when you're carrying anxiety and stress and depression and all the things that are a part of our daily normal right now, and to be able to let them out through just extreme physical exertion is incredibly powerful and incredibly helpful. So that's been the thing that's been really exciting for me, is that I feel like I've been needing something to come along and kick me in the ass to do something to, I guess, I hate to say put myself first because that sounds so selfish, but in a lot of ways you have to put yourself first some of the time. And I haven't been doing that for a long time. And this is a way for me to just an hour, 30 minutes, whatever it is every day, to make me a priority and to make my health a priority.
Well, if you go back to the show that we did with Shaun T a year ago, that was actually one of the messages that he put out there, was that and he said it was a selfish message, but he puts himself first so that he can be there for all the people who need him.
So true. So true.
And it doesn't change. It's going to be that way forever. You've got to take care of yourself, and then you can take care of other people.
It's the airplane analogy, right? You put the mask on yourself, otherwise you can't put the mask on the person next to you.
No,
so.
I'm going to be running up to the front to try and fly the plane.
I believe that about you. Well, I think this is probably as good a time as any in this conversation to get to what people are here to listen to, and that's our conversation with Shaun T. Lots of growing pains here for us, but we did this all on Zoom, so it was our first video podcast. We have the video available on our YouTube page. Again, there's a link on our website, thefitmess.com. But our conversation with Shaun just began with sort of how he's doing right now with all of this that we're all dealing with.
It's this quarantine life is it's funny. I just did a webinar with my safe space, and we were talking about building on the quarantine. And what I did was, I don't think I have my paper here still, but what I had everyone do is I created this image where it was like stairs, and each step I made people go back to week 1 of the quarantine, week 2, week 3, week 4, and really build on like what has happened. And even if there was something negative that happened every single week, no matter what, people always saw a progress of the week before. Because a lot of people feel weak, be it in their fitness or their job or their marriage, and we're stuck in the house together. But there's this unconscious thing that happens, that change is going to happen no matter what. It's either going to change. I think all things in terms of like the way you process things always change for the better. But sometimes physically we can regress because we let the stress take over. But I really kind of help people understand that they subconsciously started a new journey, and they have subconsciously gained some new superpowers from this new journey. And people were like, oh, wow, like I can do more push-ups, or my cardio has gotten better, where it's something that they were focused so much on the negative things that they didn't see the positive things that were happening. I know that was a lot, but that's, that's what's happening.
No. That's been something really interesting that I've noticed too, just in terms of our family dynamic is, before this, it was constantly go, 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 softball practice, swimming practice, commuting back and forth downtown to the different programs that the kids are involved in and stuff. And when you're just home, it's just family all the time. Sometimes a bit much, but it is interesting how much what really matters really steps up when you're locked down like this.
But I also think that I love how you admittedly said, and sometimes family is a bit much, because I think that, especially with social media, you always think like things are great because people post these like snapshots in time and like all the amazing things. And I actually, a couple of weeks ago, I posted straight up, I was like, I had like multiple breakdowns, like the kids were crazy. I did, like, I had to be honest. And the more I was honest with myself, the more I was able to, like I said, progress forward. So I'm just really happy you said that, because I think it's going to help people feel normal.
Well, that's something that I wanted to point out too, is just that there are so many people in the like fitness, self-help industry. And that's one of the things that's always drawn me to you, is your vulnerability, your openness about your struggle, because someone looking at you would not see someone that struggles. They would see somebody who's just looking good all the time, having a great time, and you share those struggles, and I appreciate that because it normalizes my struggle too. So and that's something that Zach and I have really kind of made a point of this show to do, is to normalize how hard it is to try and take care of yourself when the world demands so much of you.
Well, I want to say thank you, man, because I'm a really emotional guy. So to hear other guys, a lot of
Mhm.
guys they don't really tap into that emotional space. And especially a lot of times when I talk to my guy friends one on one, they really open up because I think
Mhm.
that a lot of men out there feel weak when they
Mhm.
show emotion. And at least for me, I've kind of gotten used to being like, hey, I'm going to help people by showing my vulnerability. But in addition to that, I just thank you because it actually makes me feel another level of good to know that another guy out there understands the way that I feel.
Totally, totally. Well, I was going to start by apologizing for my appearance, but somebody just kicked my ass on day 2 of this 60-day challenge.
Man, don't ever apologize for your appearance. Don't ever apologize for your appearance. Look, we're all
Uh,
stuck in the house. Who
yeah.
who needs to look good? I actually, so this is like so funny, and I'm actually gonna put this on my Instagram story when I'm done. So a friend of my birthday was this Saturday, right?
Hmm.
And
Happy
so
birthday, by the way.
thanks. My friend sent, like, people sending like gifts in the mail or whatever, and my friend sent me some cologne, and I'm like, she must be able to tell that I have taken way less showers during the quarantine, and I smell like, I'm telling you, dude, yo, I walk around the house and I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Like, you cannot smell like that. I'm surprised that when my kids want to get on my lap, they don't jump off and be like, Papa, you smell. I'm like, that's unconditional love right
Oh my
there.
god, that's
So I got
awesome.
some new Jimmy Choo cologne. So I'm hoping that'll help me out.
There you go.
My daughter actually brought me my deodorant the other day and was like, Daddy, here, you need to wear this a little bit more.
I love it. I love it. So while we need to dig deep in our fitness, we need to dig deep in our showers. But I'm glad you are on day 2 of my challenge. So how's it going for you? I want to know why you joined the challenge.
Your challenge came along at the perfect time. You were talking about how we're all sort of progressing through whatever this normal is, and for weeks it's been sort of just getting through the day, getting food in the kids' faces, getting as much schooling in as we can, getting as much work done as possible, going to bed and doing it again. As this has become more normal, there's become more room in my mind for taking care of myself and making time to take care of myself. And we talked to Carl, the head of
Deichler?
Beachbody. Yeah, Carl Decker. We talked to him a few weeks ago, and when we talked to you last year, I did Transform 20. I had just started when we talked to you. I'd never finished a workout routine in my life. That one I finished. So thank you. It was incredible.
My man.
Um, and
Thank
so
you.
I kind of got to a point where I was like, okay, I should dive back into my Beachbody and see what workouts can I slowly start introducing into my day. And so I started with like the 3-day yoga retreat, or 3-day yoga
3-week
reset.
yoga
And
retreat. Oh, the
well, the
reset. Yeah.
3-day one, and then I did the 3-week one.
Cool.
And then I was like, okay, so what next? And then I saw your post about a week ago about the 60 days of hell coming up, and I was like, this is perfect timing. I'm gonna dive in, and I finished his last one, so I'm gonna finish this one too. So my wife and I both started doing it yesterday, and
Yes.
so I got day 2 done today, and I'm hurting. I'm I'm a little mad at you, but I'm a little happy as well.
If you weren't
Uh,
mad at me, I would kick you out of the group. I tell people, when people come up to me and they say, I hate you. I'm like, okay, cool. That means you're doing it right. I mean, you must be like super crazy if you really love me and you're working hard. But most people say, I hate you. And that tells me that they're actually doing what I tell them to do.
Yeah, Zach was teasing me because he's like, "How many people get to do Shaun T's workout and then 5 minutes later get on a call with them and tell them how mad they are?"
Hey, I love it. Wait, so the real question is Zach doing it?
Yep, I'm doing it
Zach?
too.
Okay, all right. That was a good answer.
Yeah, I'm working through a little bit of a rib injury now, so I'm a little slower, but I am modifying where I need to and still doing it. But the bigger thing is that my wife is not real big into these kind of workouts, and she's doing it with me as well. So
Yeah. So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm glad you both said that. Something you started because you realize that you kind of wanted to do something for yourself, or you finally realized that in this quarantine you had to do something for yourself. And then Zach, I love that you said your wife is doing it and it's not something that she normally would do. And for people out there who are doing this calendar, this hybrid calendar workout, it's going to get very, very tough. It's going
Wait,
to get very, very tough. And the reason why I say that is because I really want people to finish this no matter how hard it gets. I want people to finish it. And the reason why is because if you work on something, and that something being yourself, for 60 days and you're doing something so terribly difficult, there's something amazing that's happening, which is, and I may have told you guys this before, but you are in your head when you get to a certain point in the workout, you have to constantly keep telling yourself, keep going. Because most of the time, even me, after doing this crap for 20 years, I'm trying to walk out. I'm like, I'm out. Like, he is, you know. So the fact that I'm constantly saying like, go, or I'm feeling a burn, go. For people out there who are working that hard every single day for 60 days, not only will the physical results be amazing, but imagine how much mentally strong you'll be. And I tell people, when you finish Insanity, or if you finish this calendar, every other workout you do, I'm telling you, it's not that necessarily is going to be this is better, but things will become easier because your mind will be stronger, and you won't look at that pain or weakness, or that out of breathness, if you will, and the exhaustion. You won't look at it as a moment that you want to give up. You'll look at it as a moment that your mind is saying, okay, like, cool, like, I'm stronger than this. This is where I can push. So
I want to ask you about the details of the 60-day plan and sort of how it all came together. But on that note, yesterday, the yoga workouts are awesome. It's just such a different animal to do yoga versus what you offer. And it was so interesting to me how immediately when I was done yesterday, all the feelings I had from a year ago doing Transform 20, it just reignites that confidence that I did something that was hard, and I finished it, and I felt better all day. It's partially because I do it outside in my backyard, so I'm getting a lot of fresh air. I'm getting outside, the weather's nice, but I'm also working and getting out a lot of that anxiety and that stress that I hang on to and that I just carry with me through the day. So it was such a great feeling to have that familiar, like, I can accomplish difficult things, that just triggered immediately when I was done, and it got me excited to do it again today. I'm sure it'll come along here again any minute once I catch my breath again. But I mean, that feeling happens immediately when you accomplish, I think, even the first day, because it's such a challenging course.
And I love that you brought up anxiety. I think that's something so important that a lot of people don't talk about. And last year I kind of opened up about my anxiety struggles, and just foundationally, working out really helps with your anxiety, because it just kind of like, while you're pushing yourself to the max up here, it also kind of, in a weird way, it calms you down. And so, I just want people to know that if you're super stressed, exercise is just a really great tool to just kind of level you out and balance you out. Like, those endorphins release, and man, it's like, I don't know if I ever told you guys this either, but I used to, years ago, this has to be about 20 years ago, I was taking depression medication, and I was I started taking this depression medication, but I also was teaching classes. And I realized that when I was teaching group exercise classes, my anxiety, my stress, my depression, like, all that heavy feeling just like went away. And so that's when I first realized that exercise was, I used to call it like, exercise is my drug. I also realized, for me personally, it was more of like anxiety and past like what happened to me as a kid that was like filtering into my life. And then I realized therapy actually helped me out with my depression. And some people obviously need medication, but therapy and fitness really, really helped me out. So I want people to also, if you're super stressed, or if you have anxiety, or if you're feeling heavy every day, just pushing play and starting to move. Just, I'm not a doctor, but it definitely helps a little bit. It definitely gets you, that feeling of accomplishment that turns into a positive feeling.
Yeah, I can testify to that myself. I mean, A few years ago, what I thought was like a normal level of anxiety, I went and actually got officially tested, and turns out I was off the charts anxious, and I just thought it was normal. But you know, doing your workouts every day was actually, um, I found if I did them late in the day, I was anxious throughout the entire day, and then after the workout, I was fine. But if I did the workouts first thing in the morning, my entire day was just so much less on the anxiety level. So I mean, there's definitely something to that.
Yeah, man, that morning workout is like it sets you up for even me. Like if I work out later in the day, I definitely have, you know, the day leading up to that is definitely a little bit more, I don't want to say stressful, but it's a little bit more heavy. Whereas I work out in the morning now with this calendar, I was like, I got to get this shit done early. I'm like, I got to get this done early. I got to do some TikTok. I don't know if you guys follow me on TikTok. I got to dance a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But when I get that hard workout done early, I do. I mean, I do feel so much better by the end of the day.
Yeah. So the hard workout portion of this, when I first heard about this group, I told my wife about it, but I didn't know any of the details. I just heard Shaun T's doing a program, so I automatically signed up. Had no idea what it was about, so I told my wife about it, and she's like, "Oh, I'll try it." And then she's like, "How's it going to start?" And I was like, "Well, he likes to ease people into things, so I bet there's going to be some hip hop abs and maybe some easy stuff." And she had some words with me when she found out the truth. So, this is a really hard workout, and this is just hitting really hard. Was this something that was already in the works, or is this in response to the current situation that everyone's already in?
You know, I've been wanting to do something like this for a while because innately, like the soul and the core of who I am, I want people to work really freaking hard. And I have all these programs out there, and some people will finish them and then they're like, "Oh, I got through that." But there's something about them wanting to like keep on going, and they need that push to keep going, right? Because when you finish an insanity or an asylum, you're like, "Oh, I got through that." Like, "Oh, maybe I can do something a little bit easier now," right? And I want people to know, like, no, like you can actually capitalize on doing hard things. That's one thing. But the more important thing is the reason why I developed Insanity in general and I wanted to take on that program is because at the time I was watching infomercials on TV where they said, drink this and you'll lose 15 pounds and be ready to go to the beach. And I'm like, this is BS. And, or it was like, everything's easy and, you can get the best body you ever had by like, sitting on a couch and squeezing this thing. Right. And I'm like, so it's no shade to other, like those products work. Like people might laugh, but like I said, the shake weight works. It just does. If you shake your arm long enough, like there's going to be some muscular endurance that grows, like the thigh master, like the ab thing, like these all work. But there's something about you using your body and the way that I make you use your body that elevates the workout. It elevates your ability to dig deeper, and you only have two places to go: out or in. And if you decide that you want to stay in, as I was saying before, there's something that happens. And so I wanted to build, I finally wanted to, after 15 years of being in commercial fitness, I finally wanted to build a community of people who are like, I can attack anything. And so I'm actually releasing tomorrow night when the group closes, this is, you are all part of the founding class of Dig Deeper Nation. And everyone in there, like, I'm gonna have a shirt available, hopefully get some wristbands. Like, this is it. Like, these people who have been with me for the last 15 years, I'm like, it's our time to now come together and show people, or even if you just join me, like you're taking on something hard. And so I wanted to form a community of people that are like, no matter what, like I know I can do it. And I have thousands of people to support and back me up.
Well, let's talk about the doing it. The 60 days. It is basically a compilation, kind of greatest hits of Shaun T workouts. Um, Walk us through sort of the planning of this and why it is laid out the way it is.
So the planning of this is I wanted to start off super tough, super hard. The first 2 weeks, phase one, is what I believe you need to mentally dig deeper. While I know the physical body is going to have, you're going to be sore, you're not going to be able to get up off the toilet, you're going to lose weight, as long as you have a nutrition thing, which I have something for you guys. But the first 2 weeks are designed purely from me and my experience of like kicking people's butt into high gear. So that's phase one. The cool thing about this hybrid calendar, though, phase two is going to be what you need. So usually I develop something and I create the whole thing and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I know this is what you need. But after about 9 days, we're going to do a live chat and I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to look in the feed at the comments and see, do you need cardio? Do you need strength? Do you need stretching? Do you need what do you need nutrition wise? And so phase 2, 3, and 4 would be really led and guided by, the nation, Dig Deeper Nation, like my
That's
people.
cool.
That's fantastic.
And the other thing that's kind of really cool about it is that if you notice, I had people do before pictures with the date on it, because a lot of times they're like, this is my before pictures from 5 years ago. I'm like, well, let's be present, right? What do you look like now? And I want the date on it, and it's less more about like your how much better your abs got. It's really about the time that you committed. Like you see the date that you started your commitment, and you see the date where we do our after photo. So it's more about I committed for 60 days rather than I lost 30 pounds in 60 days, right? It's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like I see the date. Like this is like I actually did this and I committed and I can celebrate it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I took my picture yesterday, and there's a bit of a COVID spare tire that may have developed when I looked at the picture, but so I haven't uploaded it yet. But after this, I'm definitely going to throw it up there and just be like, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Like it is what it is. It is what
See,
it is.
you guys are stronger than me. I can't do it. I don't.
Yes, you can. Listen to me.
I'm a very vulnerable dude, but I don't think I can share that.
You don't think you can share, or you can't share it?
There's a lot of things that I thought I couldn't do up until a few years ago when I got on this train. And so I've come a long way. I've done things I didn't think I could do. Right now, I don't think I can do that. I'm sure I could be convinced. I'm not a black and white guy. There's maybe something will happen that will change my mind. But right now, the idea of posting this flabby ass body on the internet, nope.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You just described your body
Uh-huh.
to the listeners.
Yes.
You just described it. So what's going to be the difference with you showing it?
Ooh,
Like
gotcha.
you want to leave it up to us to just imagine what you look like? Because I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm not convincing you to do it. I say take the picture and hold it in your phone for you.
Sure.
Right? You don't have to share it with me. But the thing that I will tell you is like people who do show that and they commit to the time frame, not just the change of body, are the most inspirational people, because there are so many people that relate to, the COVID body or the quote unquote flabby ass body. I mean, the reason why I got into this journey is because I gained 50 pounds overweight. Right?
And that's the thing. I don't even remember when it was now, a couple of years ago, but I mean, I'm down 60 pounds from where I was when I began this journey. And I do look back and go, I wish I'd taken a picture, but I didn't really make a conscious effort to, I'm going to start working out and I'm going to lose this weight. I just made lifestyle changes and then the weight started coming off. And so I look back in my old photos and try and find pictures of how I looked to try and remember. But I do wish I had at least taken one so I could go, man, look how far I've come since then.
I'll meet you halfway.
Okay.
I'll meet you halfway. Do you have like fit like clothes that are a little smaller that you're like, I can't really fit into that? How about you wear them in the picture and then wear them at the end of the 60 days so we can but still take your picture that you show for yourself, but
sure,
because then that way people will see your clothes fitting differently, but it'll be, again, it's more about the fact that you committed for this time frame. So
sure. That's a good compromise.
That's a good compromise. I'm a good
Yeah.
compromiser.
I just decided to sit back and let you take it on and convince Jeremy to
Yeah,
do something.
yeah. Zach's
So,
the one that convinced me to ride rides at Disneyland for the first time in my life. So,
oh my
you know,
gosh, I've
he's
done
done
that
his
to my
he's done his work.
friends. I've gotten my friends on roller coasters that hate roller coasters.
Ah, hate it.
They're the best. I love
They're
them.
the best. Where do you guys live? I can't remember.
So I'm in New York now, and Jeremy's in Seattle.
What part of New York?
I'm in upstate in Albany.
Okay, Seattle. Man, we should hang out when I come there. We might be jumping in an RV and taking my family up there because my kids' grandparents, my in-laws, they just turned 77 and it's like 100 degrees here now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're trying to decide if we don't have to go up there, but we like them to be with the boys as much as possible, twin boys.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
we might be coming up to Seattle. Not that we can hang out because we'd be socially
Exactly.
distancing, but still.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have to twist my arm. I'm happy to hang out anytime.
You would have to work out first. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. I'm joking. I wanted people to know that the other side to fitness, that I have is food. I think it's really important that they know food. And there are a lot of food things out there, but I developed this thing called Move for Food, which is really just people becoming, it's a six module course that really just helps you look within yourself and really helps you understand why you eat the way you eat, the culture of how you grew up. I have really great activities that you do in there. But one of the things that's really amazing is that you can do it with your family. Like it's things that you can sit around with your spouse or your kids if they're a little bit older and really talk about food, because usually we parents, we put the food on the table or we take the kids where they want to go, or sometimes we're like, where do you want to go? There's no discussion amongst the family about like, what are we eating? Why are we eating this? And what do we like? What do we dislike? And, mom, dad, or dad, or whoever you are, why do you choose that to eat? And so, this course is really designed so that you have the open conversation with yourself and other people. And then in addition to it, you get so many recipes every week. You get recipes and snacks every single day for you to cook. And, you could do it as a family and have a lot of fun. So if people want to check that out too, because that's going to be a really great way. If you follow this recipe and you don't have any like thyroid issues that, some people have issues where they can't lose weight, and you're doing these workouts, you're going to see amazing results.
That's very cool. Talk to us about the timeline. If somebody does want to jump in and be a part of this, when do they need to be in to get access to all this?
Right. So for you guys, since you guys so wonderfully had me on your podcast today, we're actually going to just close it on Wednesday night. So at 11:59 Wednesday night, if you will, we will close the group. My goal was to get 25,000 people, and we surpassed that already, which is amazing.
Yeah. That's great.
But I'm so happy that I have another outlet of another community that could possibly join us and rock this together.
Awesome. Can't thank you enough for everything you do and for taking the time to talk to us again, man. You're an inspiration for a lot of people, us included, and it really means a lot to spend this time with you.
Oh, you guys are mad cool. Yeah, anytime. And like I said, I got to get you on my podcast. I'm gonna tell Sam, like, I got to get you guys over on my podcast.
We'd love it.
That would be awesome.
I got a lot of questions for y'all too.
Okay, awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, again, our extreme thanks to Shaun T for taking time to talk with us. And, hey, it sounds like we're going to be on his show too. So maybe the conversation will continue at some point. We'll see how it goes. But very cool to get to talk to him, and a very cool program that he has going on right now. And if you want to join the Facebook group that he mentioned, we have a link to it on our website, and the door to enter is going to close at midnight tonight. This is for Wednesday, May 6th, if you're listening sometime in the future. And you missed your opportunity. But there's also a cool thing in the group that if you join, you get a discount on his nutrition program.
Yep. And if you just want to search Facebook, the name of the group is 60 Days of Digging Deep.
So there you go. So there's you can search there, or you can look online at our website, thefitmess.com. Normally, we at some point in each episode talk about a challenge that we have for each other. In this case, it obviously is to complete this challenge over the next 60 days. So we'll be talking about that over the next couple of months as our show continues.
You don't want to throw on some additional stuff to complete in addition to this incredibly hard workout?
I've got a lot of third grade homework that I need to scan and send to my kid's teacher. Can I count that as a challenge?
Can't you just take pictures?
Exactly. So with that, we're about to get out of here. But for those of you that maybe found us because of Shaun T appearing on this show, we have tons and tons of great episodes in our archive that you can listen to.
Yeah, if this is your first time listening to the show, here's a quick recap of what we're all about. We are two pretty relatively normal guys, and we're just looking to make small changes to improve our life and improve the quality of our life. I wouldn't consider this challenge a small change. It's pretty big, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely a big step in that direction. And as my legs will tell you.
Jello, man. Jello.
So with that, if you would like to subscribe, please do so at thefitmess.com. We post shows every couple of weeks, and we'll have a new one there in a couple of weeks at thefitmess.com. Thanks so much for listening.
See you, everyone.
We know this podcast is amazing and does not seem to lack anything, but we do need a legal disclaimer. Jeremy and Zach are not doctors. They do not play them on the internet, and even if they did play them on the internet, they would be really bad at it. Please consult your physician prior to implementing any changes that you heard on this podcast. The listener assumes that Jeremy and Zach do not know what they are talking about and that you will do your own research on the topics talked about on this podcast.